have the funds necessary to carry out their functions. So you will be able to tell us whether you are utilizing 172.1, is it A or 1? A. Whether you have operationalized A, whether you have operationalized B, and so on. And the reason I say so, and I don't take kindly to the comments made by Senator Tobiko, is that an upcoming urban areas may require 100% allocation from 2 in order for it to operate. So we need to, what we need to find out is what formula is Murang'a using to actually operationalize this.
Your Excellency, I think is a very simple thing. I know you have a centralized kind of collection that everything is automated. After that, when you collect the money, how do you distribute the money back to the municipalities, the source, where the money came from? No.
Chair, the question is, money is collected at the municipality level and it may be retained.
That's okay,
But
I understand
then,
it.
Chair, the governor said that it is not the issue of transfer, it is delegated. What he's saying, what is in this document is typo error or wrong. So let's talk about delegated, not transfer. I think he has made it very clear, Chair.
No, one thing I'm saying is, the money is actually automated, collected, taken to one account, okay? And thereafter, it's been utilized now for the purpose of utilization for different municipalities. That's how I understand it.
Yeah, and it is on page
Yeah,
13.
am I right?
It is very clear.
Tell us how we go about those things. You collect the money, it's automated, it goes to an account. What happens next?
Chair, thank you so much for your good questions. Let me start with your question.
Yes.
Once the money is collected by the municipalities, they are supposed to give us a budget, which they do. They meet as a board, they tell us, this is what we want to be done using whatever amount we have expended. Of course, we have the constant, what I would call a recurrence. That is salaries. That goes without saying. But now the key issue comes to development. Now, development, and I think that's where maybe this item may not adequately capture what happens in our municipalities, is because you have development as per budgeted by the respective municipality boards. So you'll find, for instance, just to give you an example, let's say Kang'ata will budget, let's say, 10 million per or 15 million per annum. So when you look at this write-up, that's what we will happen. And it is them who will do the procurement. They will do a singular, we will do a singular advert. People will apply, but what is for executive will be done by the executive. For the municipal board, they will come up with a committee. They have their procurement people, they have the engineer, they'll do the evaluation, then a person will get an award from there, and that will happen. However, that fails to capture other support the executive renders to the municipalities, because in the main budget we have money for infrastructure, which, because municipalities fall in certain wards, so you'll find the executive, through some recommendation often through the members of the county assembly, will also support other infrastructural projects in the same municipalities. Also, we have some donor funds that go specifically to the municipalities. In fact, from a practical point of view, we have received some, for lack of a better word, some noise from other wards where they see as if the county executive is favoring these three urban areas, because they will not only budget the year money, which they have planned, but will also support them using the infrastructural projects. Maybe to give you just an example, in the last financial year, you will find Keno Municipality. In the main budget here, the one they planned, I think amount was 10 million. That meant we did two, what we call cabro works in Keno Municipality. That's 2 tenders, 5 million, 5 million. Then the main executive, in the same year, we put 35 million to do cabro works. I know my senator comes from there. You'll find accelerated cabro works and tamaking in Keno. I'm sure he knows Keno CBD. He knows a place called Mentasako, Kaga, OJ. Currently we have Gadhanji happening. We have PK. We have Karugu also happening. We have the one going down to Jerusalem. So all those are, you'll find more activities in Keno in comparison to other places. The same also applies in Morangata. $10 million again, but now you find more works being done in the municipalities in comparison and non-municipality areas. Thank you.
Chair, that's a good answer, but Chair, kindly let me seek some clarification.
Questions. Let him answer all the questions
If
first.
we can,
The
Let
other,
him answer
I
all their
wanted just
questions.
to
I wanted to know, Chair, you know the very first table that appears on the response by the governor? Yes, it's talking about.
Order. You to know we have asked a lot of questions. Let's finish questions and then we do round 2 for more questions again.
Oh, no. You
Otherwise,
know,
as if you continue interrupting.
it's just a clarification on
Okay,
that
okay,
particular one.
go ahead.
And Chair, I can assure you, I'll not bother you with irrelevant questions. So I'm just wondering, having listened to the response by the governor, that these municipalities collect a revenue to a central fund. Then, if they have a budget, they present the same to the executive. And Chair, we have a table, the very first table talking about delegation of functions. So, I'm not taking you back. I just wanted to know exactly then what is delegated. If this municipality to present a budget to the executive, then on the executive for every other item of expenditure. So is there really delegation? It's actually a yes. Question.
no,
So that Senator delegation there, then
Chair, and just to follow up on what he has said, Chair, the governor and I know that we will meet in the civic committee. And when we meet at the civic committee, this will definitely be one of the audit queries by OAG. He knows that. So we can OAG on this specific issue about independently, and they have no
Yes, I think allow me, Chair, to give some remarks, then I will yield to 2 other people. The one will be CC Professor, then my other CC Lance will also say something. First, my understanding to the query, particularly the legal aspect of it, is that we are here to settle what is the meaning of the word may. So, because on our part, we believe may means, may does not mean shall. Yeah, shall means you must do it. May means it's upon us to decide what we delegate. That's one. Two, there's a second issue of what is the meaning of an account. Maybe in a bank account written Muranga town account, written Keno account. But with the evolution of technology, it can also mean an USSD, which what we believe we have created, and which clearly shows where that money is coming from and how much each municipality is collecting. And for avoidance of doubt, apart from us now coming to the Senate for justifying, but municipalities also undergo review by the World Bank to see whether they qualify for what we call, let's say, KUSIP grants. And some of them, they will come and look at those very good questions which are being asked, and they will see, insofar as creation of those accounts, it can be deemed as we have adhered to those rules. Maybe the other dilemma, legal dilemma hearing, is whether they are operating as envisaged by the law in terms of delegation chair. Once they meet, there are several things they do independently. One, we have said, they are the one who will identify which project to be done using their funds. That's not us. They'll just come up with, say this is what to be done, and then that has to be funded by the money they collect. But if it's not sufficient, then the county government will then add more to plug in that deficit in the budget using our own thing. As to whether maybe they should expend at source, yeah, where you directly expend. In procurement, strictly speaking, because they have their own procurement departments, that happens. They even have their own engineers. But the practical drawing of the money from that main account, now there's another section of the law, the PFM Act, which requires a specific law, which so far is yet to be created for us to be able to allow them to do that. Unlike what happens in the hospitals, which this Senate in its wisdom created a very specific law. So will be a little bit reluctant as a county government to allow that until that law is done as you did with the hospitals. Is it desirable? Maybe there I would leave it to the wisdom of the Senate to see whether that's desirable to allow them to expend at source. But definitely from where I see it, I see a distinction between hospitals and municipalities. Why your hospital did a good job was that the emergency nature of hospital service. You cannot go to a hospital and the doctor has to await the approval of the money to be expended from the Chief Officer of Finance. That would take time and it involves the lives of people. As to the municipality, maybe we can await whether you'll be able to come up with a law. We will seek you, we'll wait for you. But allow me to yield to Professor to explain more.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Your Excellency. Just to add a few points to what the Governor has said. Maybe the first is to point out that the municipalities are working very closely with the county government. And actually, in the last audit of the Office of the Auditor General, Kagari Municipality and Keno Municipality got an unqualified audit opinion. And so we are in this transition process because, as the governor has said, Kang'ata and Keno have only been operational for the last 2 years. If we make them fully autonomous now, I think it will be to the disadvantage of the municipalities, because if you look at what, for instance, Kang'ata collects, it's collecting 48 million. But when you look at what the county spends from the main budget for Kang'ata, it's much more than 48 million. Because, for instance, just for the community projects alone, which sit in the main budget of the county, Kang'ata last financial year, it got 30 million from the community project. If you calculate all the money it got from the smart cities, it's much more than 48. So if we make it autonomous now, and we kind of try to delink it from the main county executive budget, it will actually disadvantage the municipality. So I think we are in this transition process where we are trying to support them. Maybe in future, once they grow and they become really successful in terms of money, then the county would actually be very happy to say that we can take a back seat and then let them use the resources. But for now, we need to help them to grow. Because, as the governor said, every municipality sits in a ward. We have 35 wards. And once we are allocating the budget, we make sure that the allocation to the wards is very equitable. For instance, if we say every ward is getting 30 million, that 30 million is also going to the municipality. So I think we're in this transition process where the municipalities are part of an integrated whole. The integrated whole is the county, which is trying as much as possible to be efficient. So in future, we might want to delink once the municipalities become successful. But for now, we would ask for a bit of latitude where we are allowed to help them grow until they're able to walk on their feet. Thank you.
Just to say, this committee is not asking for municipalities to delink. Municipalities are part of the county.